Hello everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Today's story is called The Last Letter. It was written by someone special for you all. Before we begin, I want to thank all of you for your continued support. Our community keeps growing and I am so grateful for every single one of you. Thank you all for being here. And now, let's begin today's story. The Last Letter in the spring of 1918. The war was still raging across Europe. In a small English village, 19-year-old Thomas sat by the window, clutching a letter he had written but never sent. Outside, the church bells rang faintly, a sound that once promised peace but now only reminded people of loss. Thomas had enlisted 2 years earlier, leaving behind his mother and his younger sister, Eleanor. His father had already fallen at the Somme, and the weight of duty pressed heavily on Thomas's shoulders. He fought bravely, but his nights were haunted by mud, fire, and the faces of friends who never rose again. During a brief leave, he returned home. Eleanor, only 12 then, ran to him with her arms wide open, tears of joy mixing with laughter. His mother, worn but proud, held him tightly, as if afraid he might vanish. That evening, they ate by the fireplace, speaking of simple things: the garden, the neighbors, the dog that had grown fat in his absence. For one night, the world was whole again. But dawn came quickly. As Thomas prepared to leave, Eleanor pressed a small ribbon into his hand. "So you don't forget me," she whispered. He promised he would carry it always. Back at the front, Thomas tucked the ribbon inside his pocket. Whenever the thunder of shells shook the ground, he touched it, feeling a thread of home. When despair threatened to swallow him, he wrote letters, long hopeful ones, to Eleanor, telling her of the stars above France, of dreams of peace, of how he would take her to the seaside once the war was over. But one night, as winter crept in, his regiment faced a sudden attack. Chaos tore through the trenches. Thomas was struck, his body heavy with pain. As he fell, he pulled out a scrap of paper. His hand shook, but he wrote his final words. "Dear Eleanor, if you are reading this, know that I loved you more than the world itself. Live bravely. Remember me, not with sorrow, but with smiles. Your brother, always." The letter was delivered weeks later. Eleanor, now 13, read it by the same window where Thomas once sat. Tears blurred her vision, yet she clutched the ribbon that had returned with his belongings. 4 days. The house was filled with silence, his mother's quiet sobs echoing at night. But time, slow and gentle, began to heal. Eleanor grew strong, carrying her brother's memory like a lantern through her life. She became a teacher, telling children stories of courage and love. Every spring, she placed flowers by the memorial stone in the village square, smiling softly through her tears. Though Thomas never returned, his words lived on, turning grief into strength, sadness into hope. And in that way, he kept his promise. Eleanor never forgot him, but she remembered him with smiles. And that's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a like. If you have a favorite character, comment down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do so. And if you want to listen to more audiobooks, click on the icon in the top right corner. You can also find the link in the description. Thank you for listening and for spending your time with me. Take care and see you next time.